Okay, Google, play Ride the Lightning podcast.
Sure, Ride the Lightning, Tesla Motors' unofficial podcast.
Good morning, Slate. Slatey, come here. Good morning, Slate. Good morning. Were you waiting patiently for Mom on this beautiful Sunday? Huh?
We're up late, but it's a glorious 70 degrees out here. It's so nice. Are you walking or asking for a belly rub? It's paper time.
That's right. You think he was asking for a belly rub?
I do too. I think I'm asking him to walk in a little wild tux.
I said they say it's going to start raining around noon. It's almost a little after 10. It looks pretty blue sky to me.
Yeah, well, no rain would work for me because that means, you know, Ruby would get dirty and we don't want that. Here's Lady. She's over here on the tree, the fallen tree. Hey, sweetheart, are you playing? It's such a pretty morning. Hi. Is Tux coming? Oh, that lazy boy. Oh, they are coming, but they're taking their sweet time. Did you get your paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
I'm a good boy.
The exercise and the paper.
Yeah, goes good with coffee. So, this is our driveway alert. It's made by Mighty Mule. I love it. It's wireless, meaning inside that little black head is a little transmitter that has 2 AA batteries. And I've got to tell you, the AA batteries last for well over a year. In fact, I would go as far as to say they could last 2 years. We've had that for, this is 4th year now, and I think I have changed the battery once or twice, but one time I did it for diagnostic purposes and I just didn't go back and change them. So they last a long time. There's a cable that runs under the ground, down that conduit and over to right about here. And the sensor is another piece of pipe, about a foot long. It lays here. Well, the key thing is you can't even see our house hardly. I'm gonna say the house is close to 350 feet from here, something like that. Well over 100 yards, 100 meters. Let's say about 100 meters.
And it works.
And it works. That little thing transmits to the thing inside. So anytime a vehicle comes down our driveway and you get to right about here, it beeps. And the really good thing about this, because I had one before this, because I've lived in this house for 25 years. The one before this I had, well, I actually had 2. One of them had trouble with sunlight. The sunlight would set it off at certain times of the year. It was fine in the summertime whenever the trees all got covered up. But it didn't have as good as range. And then I got one where I actually ran a cable, and that's why I know it's at least 350 feet, because I measured it, and they charged quite a bit for the cable, so I was cutting the feet as small as possible, and I mismeasured or didn't allow for the waste that you're going to get going around trees and stuff, and my 350 feet stopped before I got to the house, and so I had to extend the cable, and that cost more money. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is this little Mighty Mule driveway alert, if you have a driveway, it's good, and it does not go off with lightning. The other one I had, the wire one, it was like a great big antenna. If there was a thunderstorm within 100 miles of here, I swear it would go off. And of course, in the middle of the night, waking you up because your driveway alert going off, that was a real bummer. But this one doesn't get those kind of false alarms. I don't think it's gone off more than 2 or 3 times that we look in the driveway and said, well, there's nobody in our driveway, why did it do that? So I don't know what particularly triggered those, but I would tell you this Mighty Mule wireless driveway alert, it's inexpensive, effective, and easy to install.
And you got it at Home Depot.
And I actually got it at Home Depot, and I believe I have went through that area in Home Depot, in my local Home Depot store, and I still saw it, and it was like 60 bucks. I mean, you're not going to beat it. In fact, I've gone so far in my mind, so I really just ought to go on and buy another one, because when this one, they don't last forever. This one's got 4 years old now. I think it's, like I said, this is the 4th year. you know, maybe it lasts another 2 or 3 years, that'd be great, but what's going to happen in 5 years if it goes out and you try to buy, I try to buy a similar product, and there probably will be, but it may not be as good as this one. You know, somebody may be making a inferior one by that time and put these guys out of business.
Come on, Tux.
So yesterday afternoon, I was all excited when we came in from the black belt testing because a male and a female pileated woodpecker, this huge woodpecker, flew through the front yard. I was like, Donnie, stop, let me, you know, I was just going crazy trying to get to my camera. So I took over 100 photos, and I'll go through those today, and I'll probably put that, if I got a picture worth looking at, which I think I did, to get at least one, I'll put it in today's video, because yesterday's was already so long. But that was pretty exciting. We see them from time to time. It's not the first time, and they're hard to get a picture of, though. For a big bird, they are here and gone really quick. You hear their call, very distinctive call, and by the time you get your camera ready, they're out of here. So keep your fingers crossed for me that I got a picture. This morning, Donnie's cooking while I'm doing other household cleaning chores. I really appreciate it. So I went into the Tesla app and went, oh, I didn't plug Ruby in yesterday. And sometimes we don't charge on Saturday night. If I only went to Fuquay and put on like 25 miles, we don't charge. And I guess in my head last night, I went, oh, I just drove to Fuquay and back today. I don't need to charge. That's because Don drove all the other miles. But good thing about Sundays is we're on off-peak rates right now. And so Don plugged her in for me. And I may or may not head out with her to Fuquay in a little while. But in any event, I probably had enough charge anyway. And I'll definitely have enough charge now. Yep, it's the middle of the day and I'm even doing extra laundry. I've got some of the cat beds and rugs and stuff in here. Something I wouldn't do on a weekday, but on Sunday, since we have the flat rate, low off-peak rate all day, I get to do extra laundry, aren't I? Unfortunately, the forecast was right. The sun's gone in and we have a light rain, but there's a 100% chance of rain tomorrow, so no sense leaving Ruby home today. Having visions of spring blossoms today in the sunlight or not. I wanted Johnny to come to town today with me, but he's got at least 3 hours of homework and he's looking a bit tired and it just wasn't a good day for him. So I'm running a few errands by myself. Headed over to the butcher shop to get hamburgers, gonna swing into Guardian Angel, catch a couple Pokemon, and then back to the house. Nothing too significant. I got a deal on a couple of small Longo burger baskets with the lining and this cute Valentine's angel. Heard the call for a Quuza battle and I headed over. We had 15 people go into Battle Ray and he went down quick, but I still didn't catch him. I didn't catch him on Johnny's device either. Bummer.
So last week I was doing our taxes, and I had to gather up all these little bits of paper, and I came across this interesting one. When we bought the Tesla last June, we registered it, and when we registered it, we had to pay a $130 electric vehicle fuel tax. This tax is only for electric vehicles, and it is to replace the road tax, which is 35.1 cents per gallon of gasoline. So this is a fee that Mary and I will have to pay each year when we renew our license plate. So if you wonder, so what does that work out to be? So if you take, we're paying $130 of electric fuel tax, and if the tax is 35.1 cents per gallon, that means that's the equivalent of we'd pay $130 if we bought 370 gallons of gasoline. So if we had a gasoline car that got 25 miles to the gallon, that 370 gallons of gasoline would be roughly 9,250 miles. So we're probably getting a little better deal on this. Marianne's driving closer to 25,000 miles a year. But of course, electric vehicles, we're not polluting the air and the other externalities that the gasoline is causing. But North Carolina is one of these states that we have to pay this annual electric vehicle tax.